Hello, action flick fans. I'm Ryan, your guide through the explosive world of Roadhouse, a blockbuster that stormed theaters in 2024. Warning, this video is loaded with action-packed spoilers. Fasten your seatbelts, and let's dive into the adrenaline-fueled chaos.
The movie opens in the heart of an American club, amidst the thunderous cheers of the crowd, where two formidable fighters, Harry and Ron, engage in a heated battle. Every punch and dodge they execute is met with excitement from the spectators. Amidst the electrifying atmosphere, Frankie, a determined young woman, emerges from the crowd, her eyes fixed on the unfolding fight. With bated breath, she watches as Harry gains the upper hand with his swift moves and clever tactics, ultimately delivering a decisive blow that sends Ron crashing to the ground. As the dust settles and the cheers begin to fade, a new challenger steps into the ring, Elwood Dalton. Confident and poised, Elwood accepts Harry's challenge, sparking a new wave of anticipation. However, when Elwood unveils his face, a sudden shift in the room's mood occurs. Harry, once brimming with confidence, now feels a pang of fear and unease. Sensing he's not prepared to face the danger Elwood represents, he retreats from the ring without a fight. To everyone's surprise, Elwood emerges as the unexpected victor, leaving the crowd in awe and confusion. As he leaves the fight club with pockets filled with winnings, a man emerges and viciously attacks him, blaming Elwood for his suffering. Unfazed by the assault, Elwood calmly rebukes the attacker, who flees in fear. Frankie gracefully approaches Elwood, offering her assistance. She reveals her observation of his exceptional fighting skills and expresses her intent to recruit him. She discloses her own plight, a quaint restaurant named Roadhouse in Florida besieged by relentless harassment from local thugs, ignored by the authorities. Touched by her honesty and intrigued by her proposal, Elwood agrees to join forces. As she tends to his wounds, she lays out a new path for him, one where his skills can yield lucrative rewards beyond small-time fights. The stage is set for him to step into a world of higher stakes and greater challenges, with Frankie by his side as an ally. Deeply troubled by the harassment plaguing her restaurant, she approaches Elwood with a heartfelt plea. She believes his fighting skills can be the solution to restoring peace and safety. Offering him a good sum per month, she proposes he work as a bouncer. He finds himself drawn to the idea, especially after a recent near-death experience in a train accident. Miraculously unharmed but shaken, he reevaluates his life's direction. Her offer suddenly holds new appeal as he contemplates a fresh start. Upon arriving in Florida, he encounters Kat, a warm and welcoming bookstore owner. Kat's friendly gesture of offering him a book detailing the city's highlights lifts his spirits, giving him a sense of belonging in this new environment. With newfound optimism, he begins to embrace the idea of starting afresh. His arrival at the Roadhouse marks a turning point, not just for himself, but for the establishment as well. The vibrant restaurant, with its club-like atmosphere, promises a sense of community that he has long sought. Inside, he is greeted by Laura, the bartender, and a young admirer named James, a former heavyweight boxing world champion. Elwood quickly bonds with Laura and James, earning him respect and admiration. Frankie observes him closely, reassessing her decision to bring him aboard, perhaps intrigued by his presence. However, the peace is short-lived as Del and his biker gang disrupt the club's calm atmosphere. Their aggressive behavior escalates tensions, leading to Del harassing a girl. James steps in to defend her, but the situation worsens. Elwood, with calm resolve, proposes settling the dispute outside. Despite Del's mockery and continued aggression, Elwood remains composed, hinting at the consequences for their belongings, especially their bikes parked outside. Stepping into the fray, he confronts the gang with bravery, a fight ensuing. Throughout the scuffle, Elwood displays both strength and compassion, ensuring the injured receive medical attention. At the hospital, he meets Ellie, a nurse who questions his motives for fighting. Their conversation prompts him to reflect on his life as a fighter and the impact of his actions. Back at the Roadhouse, Frankie is impressed by Elwood's courage. She promises him a steady paycheck and hopes his presence will restore the establishment to its former glory. Additionally, she offers a place to stay on a boat, albeit with the caveat of watching out for crocodiles. Memories of his past fights, especially an important match, resurface as Elwood settles into his new role. Laura shares that previous bouncers left due to trouble with the bad guys, but his commitment brings her newfound hope for improvement. As he navigates his new life, Elwood begins to see the potential for redemption and a chance to make a real difference. With Frankie's trust and the support of newfound friends, he embarks on a journey of self-discovery, hoping to leave his troubled past behind and forge a brighter future. Amidst the tranquility of the bookstore, his interactions with Kat reveal the struggles she faces in keeping the business afloat after her mother's passing. Elwood's kindness and understanding reveal his true character, earning him respect from the locals who begin to recognize him around town. Meanwhile, Dell's gang faces repercussions for their actions at the roadhouse. Their leader, Ben, isn't pleased with their failure to intimidate Elwood as intended. Despite Elwood's refusal to engage in physical conflict, Ben demands his gang become even more aggressive to assert their toughness. At the roadhouse, Elwood's presence continues to positively impact the atmosphere. He and James efficiently handle disruptions, with Elwood showcasing impressive mastery of martial arts, leaving customers in awe and solidifying his reputation as a capable bouncer. However, beneath his composed exterior, Elwood grapples with troubling memories from his fighting days. One day, seeking a hearty breakfast, he encounters Ellie at a nearby restaurant. They exchange pleasantries, discussing the town's reputation for delicious food and the tensions prevalent in the area. Ellie warns him, advising him to steer clear of troublemakers. Later at night, as he walks home from the roadhouse, his peace is shattered by screeching tires. Dell ambushes him in a terrifying car chase, aiming to harm him. His instincts kick in, allowing him to narrowly escape as Dell's vehicle crashes. However, Dell persists in his pursuit, and in a desperate struggle, Elwood is hit by the speeding car, sending him hurtling into the river below. Gasping for breath, he fights against the current, emerging battered and weary. Returning to his boat, he is met with yet another confrontation as Dell emerges, gun in hand. In a life or death struggle, he manages to overpower Dell, sending him plunging into the water where a crocodile lurks. The next day, haunted by Dell's demise, Elwood reflects on the dangers lurking in the area. Determined to leave the troubles behind, he decides to depart. Shortly, a messenger from Ben informs him of a meeting request. Elwood, wary of the messenger's intentions, confronts him, resulting in a tense altercation. Seeking guidance, he turns to Frankie, who expresses relief at Dell's removal but lacks answers regarding Dell's motives. Ben, enraged by Elwood's refusal to meet, grows increasingly desperate to maintain control over the roadhouse. His concerns escalate when he receives a call from Gerald, his father, hinting at ominous developments. In another part of town, a nefarious figure named Knox wreaks havoc, setting buildings ablaze. Gerald contacts Knox, tasking him with a troubling assignment related to the roadhouse. Amidst the escalating tension, Ellie invites Elwood to spend time together, seeking solace on a nearby island. There, she discusses Dell's death and the challenges of navigating the dangerous waters. Cautious about revealing his past, he cautions her about delving too deeply. However, she surprises him by revealing she has researched him online and deems him worthy. Their bond deepens as they share intimate moments on the secluded island, finding solace in each other's company. Meanwhile, Ben meets Knox at his residence, where Knox reveals his mission to eliminate the bouncer at the roadhouse. Desperate to handle the situation himself, Ben pleads for a chance to rectify the issue. As Ellie bids farewell to Elwood near his boat, they are confronted by Sheriff Jim, Ellie's father, who arrives with a gun. Alarmed by her father's actions, she intervenes, questioning his allegiance to Gerald and Ben's ambitions, explaining to Elwood that her father inherited his wealthy father's drug empire. Realizing the escalating danger, she urges Elwood to leave the area. As night descends, two nefarious individuals sneak up to Kat's bookstore, with sinister intentions of setting it ablaze. However, Kat shows remarkable bravery and defends her store, displaying unwavering courage. Meanwhile, Elwood, troubled by the looming trouble with Ben, makes his way back to the roadhouse. Despite Ben's insistence that he should leave, Elwood remains determined to confront his past. During the tense meeting, painful memories resurface for Elwood. Ben brings up his history as a fighter, reminding him of a tragic UFC title fight with his friend Jetway that ended in tragedy. Guilt weighs heavily on Elwood as he struggles to come to terms with the past. In response to his refusal to back down, Ben decides to send his formidable enforcer, Knox, to deal with Elwood. Knox and his gang wreak havoc at the roadhouse, causing chaos. Elwood steps in to stop the fighting, but Knox challenges him to a brutal showdown. Despite sustaining injuries, Elwood stands his ground in a fierce battle of fists. The fight spills outside the club, with Elwood feeling the pain of his wounds. Eventually, overwhelmed by the intensity and his injuries, he decides to retreat. The aftermath leaves the roadhouse in shambles, devastating Frankie as she surveys the damage. In a moment of vulnerability, Elwood admits to her that he's been keeping secrets. He reveals Ben's nefarious plan to take over the roadhouse for illicit activities. Frankie, determined to resist Ben's schemes, refuses to sell. However, Ben's ties to the mafia loom ominously, putting their lives in danger. Unperturbed by the grim circumstances, Elwood remains stoic, showing little concern for the impending dangers. At the bus station, he receives news of an attack on Kat's shop and her father's injuries. Realizing that Ben's associates are behind the assault due to his friendship with Kat, he feels a surge of determination to take action. At Ben's residence, Elwood encounters one of the henchmen. In a swift move, he dispatches the henchman, setting off a chain of events. Engaging in a fierce battle with Ben and his remaining crew, Elwood fights to protect those he cares about. Learning of an imminent mafia transaction, he decides to create a distraction, stealing the illicit cash. As chaos erupts, he reflects on the toll of the recent events, feeling conflicted about the violence surrounding him. Determined to end this and ensure the safety of his loved ones, he makes a bold decision. He detonates a bomb on his boat, drawing attention away from Ben's schemes. Elwood fights fiercely to rescue Ellie, who has been kidnapped by Ben. In a harrowing battle, he manages to find Ellie, but their boat begins to sink. Urging her to swim to safety, he stays behind to distract their pursuers. However, Ben manages to recapture Ellie and escape on another boat. Pursued by Knox, Elwood faces a final confrontation. In a brutal fight for survival, Elwood bravely battles Knox, eventually overpowering him and tossing him overboard. The struggle attracts the attention of Ben. Elwood and Ellie leap off, just as Ben collides and launches on top of the roadhouse, causing widespread destruction. Amidst the chaos, Elwood realizes the extent of the devastation caused by his actions. On the other side, Knox climbs ashore and crashes a pickup into the roadhouse, plotting his revenge against Elwood. In a final showdown, when Ben orders Knox to kill Elwood, he snaps Ben's neck instead and challenges Elwood to an intense fight. Despite his injuries, Elwood fights back with determination, finally defeating Knox. Reluctantly, Elwood bids farewell to Ellie and Jim, trusting Jim to take care of things. As he departs, Frankie and her team gather at the roadhouse, determined to rebuild and restore it to its former glory. Elwood meets Kat at the bus stop, assuring her that he will return soon. Kat's father discovers Elwood left them the trunk of cash as the bus pulls away. As Elwood sets off on a new path, the town begins to heal from the chaos and violence that once gripped it, with hopes for a brighter future on the horizon.